Hold on, stop. Don't even think about booking your Duolingo English test. At least not until you've watched our step-by-step guide to make sure you're 100% ready to take the DET. I'm Francis from Last Minute English, and in this video, we're going to make sure you're 100% ready to take the DET. We're going to look at 3 areas: what you do before the test, your strategies in the test, and what you can do after the test. Now, if you're interested in taking the Duolingo English test, we have a free guide that has everything that you need to know, including the scores that you'll need for some different famous universities. That's for free. It's on our website. The link is just down here, so check that out. So first up, let's talk about the basics. So the DET is an online exam, only online, that tests you on your English reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And it's an increasingly popular way of you proving your English level if you want to study in a foreign university, apply for a visa for an English-speaking country, or prove your English to get a better job. So let's talk about what you do before the test. It's really important, because this test is online, to make sure your setup is totally correct. So there are some really strict and important rules from DET that you have to follow. So my first tip is to find somewhere that you feel comfortable. Find a really good, comfortable seat, because if you get uncomfortable in the 1 hour of the test, you won't be able to move around, because that could mean that you go out of the screen and then you fail the test. My next tip is silence is golden. So there's a danger, if there's lots of background noise, that you could be failed. You could be disqualified from the DET. So find a place that's nice and quiet for you to take your exam. Tip 3, make sure nobody else comes into the camera. So, for example, if you're in a room and you know someone could walk in, put a do not disturb sign on the door, like in a hotel. Make sure that nobody comes into the camera shot, because DET are going to think that you're cheating and they're going to disqualify you again. And remember, you are the VIP. You're the very important person in this exam. So don't hide in the shadows. Make sure that there is lots of light coming to your face. So for example, you could put your computer with a window behind so that the light shines in on you and you can always be seen very clearly. So that's our first point, the environment. Just remember, you need a comfortable, well-lit and quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Next, let's talk about the equipment that you need. Now, you can't take DET on your phone or on your tablet. It has to be on a laptop or on like a desktop big PC. Both of those are okay, but make sure you have a reliable internet connection. You need at least 2 megabytes per second of download speed and 1 megabyte per second of upload speed. Okay, and if you're not sure, you can just type into Google internet speed test and it will check whether or not your internet is fast enough. Now, before you take the test, you have to download the app of the DET exam onto your computer. And you should also make sure you have a good quality camera, microphone, and speakers, and that they're all working. But you're not allowed to use headphones. There can be no headphones in the exam. And a very important tip, if you're using an external webcam that you plug in, make sure it's in the center at the top of your laptop. Don't put it somewhere to the side or on the edge of the laptop. Put it in the middle so that it can see you very clearly. And you'll also need your government issued ID. Now that could be a passport or it could be a different ID. It depends on where you live. And the DET website has more details on that, but make sure you have the real thing, not like a scanned copy or a photocopy. You need the real thing, and you're going to hold it up to the camera at the start of the test. So that's the equipment. We need a computer with internet access. We need camera, microphone, speakers. we need to download the app, and we need to have our ID ready. Now let's talk about what we do during the test. So the DET is quite an unusual exam. It's an adaptive exam. So that means that it can change the questions and change the difficulty of the questions depending on your performance. So what that means is that the test is different for every person who takes it. Now, when you're completing the test, you'll see, hear, and read the different questions, and you'll be responding with a combination of speaking, writing, and choosing the interactive responses. And you have to be prepared to be surprised, because the test will ask you different questions at different times. It's not like the IELTS exam where you have your listening and then your reading and then your write. It's not like that at all. Any question can come at any time. And you don't even know how many questions you're going to get. It depends on the test. Once the system is sure that it knows your score, it's going to finish your exam. So this can be a little bit difficult to get used to, but the good thing is that the DET website has lots of practice tests where you can go and you can practice as many times as you want, getting used to those different types of questions. So now you know the format, you know the way that the exam is organized, and it's time to practice. But how do you practice? So the way to improve your score, of course, is to just be as involved as you can be in the world of English. Try to find an English partner to speak with, try to read English books, English newspapers, listen to podcasts. The more that you are deeply involved in the world of English, the better your score is going to be. And if you're worried about what kind of level you're at now, the great thing is that the website with the DET practice tests gives you an estimated score as soon as you finish one of those practices. So you'll have a pretty good idea of if you're already at the level you need, or if you need to keep practicing first or improve some areas before you take the test for real. But remember, most of all, the DET is all about natural, fluent English. So don't prepare for this exam like it's a history exam and you have to remember lots of dates or something like that. Instead, just keep improving your English and make yourself as confident and fluent as you can be. And that's how you're going to get the best possible score. Now let's talk about time management in the exam. So there are 3 parts here. First is the introduction part, which is 5 minutes, and you'll be checking your equipment, your camera, your speakers, your microphone, and also showing your ID. Then you go to the adaptive test part. So this is the main part of the test. 45 minutes altogether, all of those different questions, and you have no idea which question is going to come next. And each of the questions is timed. And as we talked about before, the difficulty level can change as well. So it's going to be an interesting 45 minutes. And then finally, the speaking and writing samples are at the end. This is about 10 minutes altogether. And for each one, speaking and writing, you get a prompt, which is a question. And for the writing, you have 30 seconds to read the prompt, and then you write for up to 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the maximum. Then for speaking, you get your prompt, you read it, and you're going to speak for up to 3 minutes. And remember, for the speaking and writing samples, that if you decide to apply with your DET score to a university, the university can check your speaking and writing samples. They can listen and they can read. So don't say anything rude about the university you want to go to. Finally, let's talk about after the test, and let's look at your scores. So your scores will come within about 2 days of taking the test. So it's very quick. And they're going to give you a score between 10 and 160. That's the maximum you can get. And your score is divided into 4 areas: your literacy, conversation, comprehension, and production. And we have a chart down here where you can compare your DET score and see what it means in IELTS and also in TOEFL. Now, if you're taking the DET so you can apply to university and prove your English level, remember that each university has their own requirement for a score. Some are a little higher, some are a little lower. You can check on the website of the university you want to apply to, and you can also check on our website that free guide to the Duolingo English Test. We've got some of the most famous, most prestigious universities and the scores that they need in that free guide. So check that one out. So there we go. That is our step-by-step guide to make sure you're totally ready to take your DET. Remember, we've got loads more videos coming out all about DET. We also make videos about the IELTS exam, other exams, and we teach you how to reach advanced level English. So if that sounds good, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you very much for watching. Good luck in your exams, and I'll see you next time.